Alright guys, we're back with another video. This is Burn Baby Magazine YouTube channel. Subscribe. In this video, we got BoxTruckBros here again. He's chomping it up with other owner-operators, and he's giving out game. He's talking about getting loads, doing business with brokers, how to get started in the industry. He's pretty much breaking everything down. And let me give you guys a background about BoxTruckBros. BoxTruckBros is one of the #1 influencers when it comes to the trucking industry. He doesn't scam. You can check out his courses. You could get one-on-one consulting with him on his page. He doesn't scam. You gotta watch out for the scammers out there on Instagram. Watch out for the guys that will tell you they're gonna give you the game and just charge you and keep charging you and really not give you the sauce for real. But BoxTruckBros, on top of that, guys, I'm not gonna do too much talking. Just check out the video. Make sure you subscribe. Let's get right into it.
Last year, it dropped off. It was pretty slow.
Yeah.
But the uptick in tender output is so. I think in March 4th. Yeah, I think 6 months from now we're gonna be rolling.
6 months. Okay. Would you say that? Because even me, like I've been in since the pandemic, and I know those rates were a little bit different. But even now, with the new wave of carriers, like the Northeast, some markets are just a lot lower. Like Northeast, you used to be able to get at least $1.80, $1.70. Now it's like, I mean, you're scratching $1.10, $1.20. You know, the lane is only paying about $1.30, $1.40 per mile max. You know, for like the 30-day average or 15-day average. Do you think with like the new carriers that do come in and carriers taking freight for cheaper, not knowing how to negotiate, just kind of taking what they can, do you think that brings the rates down for brokers as well? Like, do you think that kind of sets the standard of what rates are going for, or is it more so like the economy?
Yeah, guys, that's an interesting topic right there. So for those of you guys in the trucking industry, do you think that the rates have gone down or up? So what do you think about that? Just let me know in the comments, because I'm hearing a lot about that. I'm hearing that the prices have dropped down and it's real competitive out there. It's a competitive market. People are undercutting other people for prices. And just comment below. And I want to hear what you guys think about that. Let's get right back into the video.
Other factors.
No, I absolutely think it brings it down too. I mean, if there's brokers that have great partnerships with carriers and they get an opportunity to quote a couple lanes, and let's say that newer carrier just needs freight and they give them X rate, they go to the customer, they're like, wow, that's awesome, or cheap, and they go. And so, I'm trying to book freight at X amount per mile, and I can't even win the load.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
so you kind of gotta come down too.
So if I bid this amount to basically break even, or if it's a new product, like maybe get in with them, establish some sort of relationship. Hell, I'll take a loss if I have to for $100 or something. And I'm not doing that. Like it's kind of wild to think, what are they actually paying?
Yeah.
Which in turn isn't all that great. Right?
Yeah.
Like for parties.
Yeah.
Because now, in the customer's mind, that's what they think the rate is.
I've been called some brokers before, and the same way, like sometimes the load may go on. It's a bid load, where a bunch of brokers are bidding on this load.
Right.
So I've called a broker and I'm trying to negotiate the rate, and they're like, "Well, I don't have the load yet. Tell me what you need to get it moved." And I'm like, I know how competitive this market is, especially with the box trucks.
Yep.
So depending on the market I'm at, I kind of know when it's like a bid load or they don't have it locked in. You kind of gotta, if you want to get moving, you kind of got to come in at a cheaper rate, So I definitely came in at like a lower rate, and they're like, someone took it for lower. I'm like, how do they take it for lower than anything with $1.40 or $1.50 coming out of a certain area?
Yep.
Even the broker's like, I don't know who ran that load for $1.20 per mile for a truckload, 8,000 pounds. I'm like, yeah, they can have it at that point,
Yeah, it's tough, and I mean, I will say, like the box truck market back, late 2017. I mean, later years of the teens, it was like $1.20 a mile.
Yeah.
And people would take that route a little bit, but I have a theory personally. I think in the last decade, maybe it's been easier or more accessible to start a small business like you've done.
Yeah.
So if you have people with these ideas who start a small business, manufacturing business, and there's now they're producing product, and maybe they only have 2 or 3 pallets worth for this week to go wherever, right? Box trucks, you're going to take the cheapest route.
Yes.
You're not going to pay a truck to go that, or rely on a full truck to do 6 different partials to go, right? Like some customers are cool with a box truck doing 2 or 3 partials on one to run, and that's fine. Other times the freight's very important and you can't do that, which we'll get into sure. But and so I think this influx of these new businesses, these startups, and the accessibility of things to build your brand and whatnot has led to a greater demand, I think, for the box trucks, which may have pushed the rate up a bit.
Yeah.
But with everybody, I mean, the more trucks you have, the lower that rate's going to go, right? So
Yeah.
it's
That's what I think. I've been hearing that a lot, and when I first kind of started like doing like just the whole goal when I first got started with trucking was I'm diving into this journey. I'm gonna grab a camera and we're gonna see how this journey plays out. That was it. Just record every step of the way, and not really kind of knowing what I'm getting into or the race and stuff like that. I had definitely had to learn, but I get a lot of comments from people saying box trucks are driving the race down for semis, right?
yeah.
And essentially, I think my response to that is that I think box trucks opened up a newer lane in trucking where we're saving customers and brokers money. So before, a lot of cargo vans, sprinter vans, box trucks, they weren't going OTR, DC to Cali. Now you got
And they were kind of
box
tough to
trucks.
find.
Huh?
They were tough to find
Yeah,
too.
yeah. But now everyone's kind of going OTR. So if it costs a broker 60 cent, 50 cent, 80 cent per mile to move one pallet, why would they put it on the semi rather than a box truck? So I kind of tell people like, I think that there's a new lane in trucking, which is the LTL space, where if you get into business, the whole goal, what I see with some people, a lot of people, is they get into business, but they don't know how to operate as a business. A lot of people just kind of get in, they just get the truck, but they're not like business savvy as far as like, all right, how do you run effective? Like your cost to operate, right? Like, where do you kind of get in to fit in? And I think with the box trucks, we eat off partials. Like we make good money because there's brokers who pay well for 2 or 3 pallets that you can add together.
Absolutely.
So,
and I think, like we both kind of just said there, like these startup companies, it's an easier way to go. And like, so when your guys go over the road, right? Do they just like motel it or what? Like, how does that work?
Nah, my guys, they thug it, bro. I tell them, because this is another thing too, because my platform is I share my business, right? Like I'm putting my business out on public display for people to judge and criticize how I operate my business. But I tell people like, as a business, your job is to operate in the green. Like you have to figure out what you can afford to pay a driver, what you can't afford, profit, stuff like that. Whether you got a rental truck, your insurance is high, you can't just come out and say what you're going to pay a driver because you can easily go out of business paying too much in expenses. And I see a lot of people try to overcompensate certain areas, drivers, per diems, food pay, the W, Marriott. I'm like, yo, you got 1 or 2 trucks, bro. Like you need to cut back in the area.
Right.
So I tell my drivers like, bro, listen, I slept in the truck. I never got hotels. So, this is what I can afford. I can afford to pay you at 20%. We do decent numbers, so you'll make money. And you have enough money to kind of get your own hotel. But also with my drivers, I have my drivers they're not drivers. I help them transition into owner operators. So they drive for 6 months. I help them save money. Then I do the LLC and everything for them. So it's kind of like an incentive, for them to kind of thug it out. Because once they get their truck, they ain't gonna be spending money on hotels. They gonna probably be thugging it out, stuff like that, So
You don't figure, hell, I'd bring a tent.
huh?
I'd bring a tent with me.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I run things, on my end. But everyone just operates differently,
Yeah, it's crazy. What?
So another thing to kind of get into as far as like new carriers and stuff like that. What makes a good carrier? Because how we touched on communication and things like that, people don't understand. Like I said, I respect the brokers because our relationships with you guys, your relationship with customers is just as important. So the same way we want to overplease you guys and build these relationships, you guys want to overplease your customers. So what makes a good carrier from a bad carrier? And then I guess in your experience, ones that you like to work with and ones you don't like to work with in regards to, let's just stop there and we'll go to like another step.
For sure. So I think like a great carrier for us is communication is absolutely key. And then number 2, on time. Just being on time.
Yeah.
Which, and I came up in a restaurant for a decade, like everything is timed. Everything, and so I understand it. Now that I'm in this industry, like my wife kind of laughs, she's like 5 minutes late. I'm like, you're late.
Yeah. If this was a load, you missed your appointment. You got to drop off next day.
Life we live, right? So
yeah,
being on time and communicating. And I think if you're doing your own thing, then you have to be conscious enough to like, all right, I'm getting ready to go on this trip. I need to call the broker, get everything I need to know. And we have a very strict dispatching format that we go through. Scammers are very prevalent. And we want to make sure the guys that's hauling the $80,000 worth of whatever is legit, right?
Yeah.
Communicating, being on time, man. Like those are the number 1 and 2 things that are most important. And if you have a dispatcher, like you were a perfect example of it when you did my load last week, and this is how this all started. Email, hey, he's on the way. He'll be here then. Hey, he's checked in. He's loaded up, good to go. I'll hit you up in the morning. Boom. We had an email before I walked into the office from you. Tell me. And it's just that easy. It takes 30 seconds. Hey, my PA is this, or you won't believe the amount of people who will call 30 minutes prior to a delivery and they're still 3 hours away because they blew a tire 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I understand there's a lot of things going on, but like it's also, and I can never really fault anybody because I'm never in anybody's shoes, but shoot me an email, man. I blew a tire late, and then I'll call you, and at least I know. Right? Like I don't know the full extent, but being on time is huge, man. I mean, Amazon, you were talking about Amazon earlier, Carrier Central portal that I'm one of a few in the company that have a login. Like we get graded big time.
Oh yeah. On like as a broker?
Oh yeah. Like if your truck is 3 minutes late, it goes against your score. Repeated offenses get you suspended from creating appointments.
Oh wow.
Now think about how that's going to be for a customer. Like it's a lot of these big companies take it very serious. And I mean, as you know, if you're late, like, sorry, Charlie, you got to come in tomorrow. You know, that loses. Now you're $1,000 out the window. And I can't give you a layover because, let's just, maybe it was the shipper's fault or this, or there was a huge wreck and I know that the highway was closed. Like obviously there's parameters that you can take.
Yeah.
Nothing goes wrong and you just show up an hour late. What do you want me to do? Right? Like, it's hard for me to, and then I have to explain it back to my customer. I can risk losing that freight. And now X amount of trucks aren't going to get any freight because of that. Yeah.
That's one thing I try to tell people in this industry is time sensitive and communication is key. It's kind of like whatever you order a package, you want to know where your package is at all times of the day.
Absolutely.
And people, the load says pick up from 8 to 3. They want to get there at 2:30, at 2. Like, yo, you were 10 miles away. How do you not get there at 9 or 10 a.m.? And I think, like I say, when some people kind of get into the industry, they don't understand what goes on the backside of you guys having your relationships and how you guys get graded. They just kind of get in and just kind of want to operate the way they want to operate.
And like, I have no problem with that. If it's a first come, first serve thing and you want to wait till 2 o'clock, like, cool. Just let me know.
Yeah.
I have to try to call you at 2:30. Now you're not answering, and now I'm freaking out that I have to maybe get a recovery. I mean, it's a chain of events type situation for every single load.
Yeah.
Because everyone is, and I get it, man. Like things, I tell carriers this all the time. Things happen. I understand, and if something happens to you, just let me know. We can work through it together. And I had a few carriers DM me after you posted it. It was like, oh, it's nice to see he's posting a broker. And I'm like, look, dude, like, I treat you like I treat the customer. Both of you are just as important. And if more carriers and brokers work together, and that's something that our company really drives home is being compassionate. And, like, I want to establish a relationship with carriers.
Yeah.
So that if I have a load that I have, I know I can look in my Excel sheet that I keep and go, okay, these guys are here, here, and here. I can copy and paste emails. I have this load. Do you want it?
Okay.
80% of the time, I get a response. Yeah, I got a truck in the area. I can be there at noon. Perfect. Driver info, get you the rate con.
Box truck loads go fast. They get covered fast.
Yeah. You were the first call. You were the first call the other day, and I hit. This is no lie. I clicked post, sat back, took a sip of water. The phone.
Listen, bro, I am so fast. Like when people, I tell people this all the time. Like, it's so competitive. Like if I'm whatever area I'm in, if a load gets posted, I'm on it. If someone's faster than me, you are fast. Because when it gets posted, I have my certain strategies that I do. But when that load goes up, I am on it, you know. And only thing that's going to stop me from getting that load is either the dimensions of my truck, you know, certifications, hazmat, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if we're set up and it's a good rate on that or whatever, and I know Megacorp, I think you guys pay pretty well. I like running with Megacorp. You know, I think you know, I've never had no bad experience with you guys, but.
Yeah, guys, that was a video, man. Thanks for tuning in to Burning Baby Magazine. Shout out to BoxTruckBros, man. I can't say enough, man, about BoxTruckBros. Comment below what you think about this video. Let us know what your thoughts are. If you have any game to give, like I say, let's turn the comment section into a discussion board. All the truckers out there that got the game, that got the sauce, share it with the people. Let's be a community, you know? Because the box trucking industry is a game where it's like, you know, people are learning from their mistakes. So let's have a community. Share your mistakes. If you made any mistakes, share it with the people. Let the people know. All right, make sure y'all subscribe. We'll be back with another video. Stay tuned.